Hi everybody, my name is Melissa and welcome back to my writing channel, Hopeful Happenings. So good to be back with you. I missed you guys. It's 2020, the roaring 20s as a lot of us are calling it, and I'm so excited because this is a big year. And January is a special month because January is usually when a lot of us make goals for the new year to be better, to improve ourselves, to accomplish things. And as some of you know, I love making goals. I think they're really important because that is what motivates me, is making goals and then seeing myself accomplish them. So I'm making goals today, and I'm also going to talk about how you can too make realistic, obtainable goals in 2020 for your writing. Now, I realized that I could be late in jumping on this. Some of you have already written your goals out for the year. Maybe a lot of you have, and that's awesome. That's great. I hope that you are happy with what you've done. If you haven't done it, or if you're looking to improve the way that you make these goals and obtain these goals, then I've got a formula for you. I did not come up with this formula, but I really like it. It's called SMART goals. That means your goals are specific, measurable, obtainable, realistic, and timely. And we're going to talk about how you can do that specifically for your career, and I'm going to show you with examples from mine. So S, be specific. Be precise. A goal that is not specific would be, I want to write a book, or I want to publish a book this year, or I want to lose weight. Although these are great ideas, these are not really goals because they're not specific enough for you to know how to obtain the goal. So let's focus in on writing a book because that is actually a goal that I think a lot of us will have this year. And it's something that I actually have as well. So I want to write a book, but my actual specific goal is that I'm going to write 2 hours a day, 5 days a week. I'm using that end goal idea of writing a book as my inspiration for this specific goal of writing every single day. So now let's go through the other letters and see if it fits. Is this goal measurable? Yes, I can show on a calendar that I have written for 2 hours a day. A, is this obtainable? Is it something that's actually within reach, or am I totally off the mark here? I think for me, it is very realistic, but it will be pushing me a little bit because some days I do have lots of time to write. I'll write more than 2 hours. Other days, it's gonna be a struggle. It's realistic enough that I think I can do it, but I'm also going to be pushing myself. And another thing that makes me know this is an attainable goal is because I have done this in the past. Last year, for example, I wrote an entire first draft of a young adult dystopian in about 3 months. R, realistic. We do want the goal to be attainable and something that you really think you can accomplish, but you also want to be stretching yourself. I feel like it's when you push yourself that you'll see the most growth. Now, I don't know what it is about me. It could be just because I'm getting older, but I realized lately in the last couple months that I've just been having a much harder time staying up late writing. And so I think I'm going to experiment with writing in the morning. And in order for me to do this, I'm going to have to wake up before my kids wake up. So if they wake up at 7:30, I'm going to have to write at like 5 in the morning. And this is not going to be a goal for me because I know that there's a possibility it won't work out. I'm not a morning person by nature, and I might just hate it. But I would really like to try to do that because if I could get my 2 hours of writing in before my kids are even up for the day, it would really take a load off. But if it doesn't work out, I'm still okay with staying up late and writing at 1 or 2 in the morning. Either way, I want to get those writing hours in. So for me, this goal is realistic, even though it will require sacrifices in sleep and probably entertainment too. So now let's talk about T, which is timely. In order to have goals that are timely, you'll need to make a deadline. And the best deadlines have a consequence. That will really motivate you to be accountable. I do have a book coming out in fall 2020, and that is a deadline for me right there that I didn't even have to make. It was the publisher who decided it. So I will have to work on that throughout the year and keep all those deadlines. However, I also have to make deadlines for myself if I want to write another book. And I'm going to try to fit in the deadlines into spaces where I don't have a publishing deadline with the publisher, so that I can flip between projects instead of doing them at the same time. But my overarching goal will be to have the deadline of completing the first draft of my next book before my middle grade fantasy is published in the fall. You may also be handling multiple projects this year, and how you handle that is completely up to you. I do recommend, however, that you have a friend who is helping you be accountable. Beta readers, maybe a family member, someone who can really motivate you to have your draft in or published novel in by a certain date. And if there isn't already a natural consequence to you not completing this goal, for example, if you didn't publish your book on so date, you're going to have disappointed fans. That's just a natural consequence of you failing to reach your goal. But if you don't have like a natural consequence like that, like for example, if it's just your personal goal and nobody knows you're writing this book and nobody really can help you be accountable, then make some sort of consequence. Last year, I made the goal of writing picture books every month, and if I did the goal, I rewarded myself with buying a new item of clothing. So the consequence was if I didn't do it, I didn't get to buy new clothes. I actually ended up not buying clothes every time I wrote a book because I didn't need that many clothes, but it was still a good motivation because if I did do it and I wanted something, I felt justified in buying it for myself. But back to making timely goals, deadlines are essential. If you're looking to query a book this year, research what goes on in the industry during the year so that you know when the best time is to query. In a general sense, a really good time to query is after Christmas in January, February, March, and April. And then summertime is a little bit harder because people are often on vacation. And then November and December are also very hard because people are on vacation and closing up for the year. So if you want to submit a book to an agent this year, choose deadlines so that you can submit your book at opportune moments. And if you are going to query a book this year, then I'll be right with you in the query trenches. I do have a goal to query agents in this year before April, so January, February, March, April. I'll try to do it in that time, and that is exciting and scary. I'm not making a goal of, my goal to get an agent this year because that's something that's not under my control. But what is under my control is sending out the query. So I will make a goal for that as well to get my picture books out there. The great thing about this SMART goal template is that it applies in every area, not just your career. I'm obviously going to make other goals for my life. I have goals to be more fit and to be more organized, but those are just my overarching ideas. I have specific, precise ways of how I want to be more fit and how I want to be more organized, and I'm using this SMART goal template to help me do that. Whatever method of goal setting you use this year, or even if you're not making goals for yourself, I still wish you the best of luck in 2020. I have a really good feeling about this year. It's going to be a good year for a lot of us, I'm sure. We're going to grow, we're going to improve, and hopefully we'll see some rewards for our hard work. Thanks for watching, guys. I post once a week on YouTube, and I post daily on Instagram, sharing more writing tips there and just giving you more insight into my own journey and publishing my book. Don't forget to subscribe down below if you haven't already so you never miss a week of writing content. We'll see you next week. Bye.